Gaming is commenced. Oh, I have to turn my notifications off on Discord. All right, I got the notification on something. There we go. And I do legitimately have the chat in Mixer this time.
Okay.
Thank God that worked.
We're up on YouTube.
Oh, nice. Wow, fantastic. All right, and my girlfriend has left for the podcast, it seems. She just slammed the back door. All right, welcome everyone to the 4GwQPodcast, back for another Thursday night. This is episode number 152 for October 19th, 2017. What's happening, guys, with the full crew?
Hi.
Assassin, what's going on? 152 straight episodes. How does that feel?
Fine.
Wow. I'm glad you're really enthusiastic and excited about that.
Yep.
He makes 152 straight episodes. That's like 3 years of episodes.
A lot of episodes.
And he's like, fine.
I'm good.
So yeah, anyway, rounding out the cast, we've got Zebra Fries, aka Taylor. What's going on?
Hello.
And we've got Italian Clowns. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, nothing much. I mean, there's a lot to talk about this week. Last week we had an awesome discussion, got some awesome feedback about our microtransaction discussion with the Ash and Luca. If you didn't see episode 151, please go back to our YouTube and check it out. It was an awesome episode, and we're really happy that Luca was able to fill in. But we've got the full cast back this week, so excited to get into these topics and revisit some old ones. So let's get this thing started. But before we do, we have a couple of ways you can help our podcast out monetarily, one indirectly, one directly. The first one we've had for a while is our affiliate links. Go down in the description below and check out the links for some affiliates we have. If you do your shopping, your regular shopping through those links, you don't have to buy what pops up, but just buy something, through those links, we will get a little bit of kickback. So thanks for that. Also, we now have a cash.me donation link page that's also in the description below. So if you guys want to help us out directly through that link, that would be cool as well. And we'll take that money and turn it back onto you guys. Of course, do an awesome giveaway that we have planned for the holiday season. So go ahead and check that out. Check out those two things below. But the show must go on. We've got a ton of topics and not a lot of time to get through them. So, yeah, like I just said, last episode we talked about microtransactions a bit, and some more microtransaction news has surfaced, and Clowns kind of brought this to my attention. So, want to get his opinion on this thing first. So last week we talked about how people were pissed about microtransactions, and people are starting to sign petitions, and people are talking about whether it's gambling and the outrage that has come about with microtransactions, even though they've existed for years and years. But now it looks like in the UK they're gonna enact some actual official government rules to restrict microtransactions, or maybe even eliminate them as forms of gambling that can corrupt young minds. Apparently, so apparently the Parliament has said that, and this is a direct quote from the response to a complaint to Parliament. They said in the UK that the government recognized the risks that come from increasing convergence between gambling and computer games, and the Gambling Commission is keeping this matter under review and will continue to monitor developments in the market, which is the too long don't read version is that if this keeps going on and intensifies as it has in games recently, there's probably going to be some government action on that. So, Clowns, you want to talk to us about this? What your thoughts are initially when you saw this?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected this because people in the UK seem to be more upset than at least most people in America that you see, because there's petitions going on in the UK. Like, I think there's more than one going to the Parliament over this. So it's kind of like a big deal there. And I think England is more regulated than the United States when it comes to government regulations. So their gambling commission does feel that loot crates are gambling if the loot crates can be sold or traded outside of the actual game system. As far as in-game loot crates that can't be traded, that are just for you, though they're still actually investigating those, but they're citing some Chinese laws that China has enacted which may show ratios of the loot drops and stuff that you can get. So we'll see. I mean, it's still pending, and I think the UK is going to be one of the first countries to really take action.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they already have. I think there is and correct me, people who are watching that are residents of the United Kingdom. I think there's a section, like province, county, I don't know what you call it, the Isle of Man, that has essentially banned this in games. So can't in that region have microtransactions whatsoever. I don't know if they're going to go to that extreme in the whole UK, but it looks like that formal complaints have been submitted towards microtransactions, and the government is actually taking some serious action, clowns, it appears, right? So
it's the way it's headed. Now, once the UK puts their foot down, question is America going to follow and be like, well, our close ally, the UK, put something down, so we need to do it too? Like, is this going to set off, a precedent for the game industry? The other thing that I was kind of worried about is that now game companies will have to abide by the laws in the UK when they develop their games. So does that mean they're going to make two different iterations, like a PAL version and an NTSC version again? Or how are they going to incorporate everything all together for Americans to play with Europeans?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting, because interesting point you make about the PAL versus NTSC thing, because that's kind of been a point of unifying recently with all the different versions of games, and region locking is really an antiquated system. Like, you don't think of region locked games anymore. People can buy and import stuff, and but now, I mean, with this thing, as the different countries kind of enact their own rules, is there going to be a big separation of games? Like, the UK version obviously is a little different than other sections of Europe, but not, fundamentally different, like loot boxes being eliminated. So is that going to be a thing? Who knows? I think it's a dangerous precedent, honestly. I think people should be either for them or against them, because, you're going to be playing against people, if you're in the U.S. and the U.S. doesn't ban them, which I don't think they ever will, but say the U.S. doesn't ban them and the U.K. does ban them. So what does that mean? People in the U.S. have an unfair advantage, and they can get all these cool things ahead of time on games that are pay-to-win schemes,
Well, see, that's kind of that's an interesting thing, though, because with Activision, I'm not trying to go into it later, but the Activision patent kind of makes me feel like, well, the UK, are they going to start blacklisting cross-server capabilities between the United States and Europe? Are they going to, I guess, I don't know a better term for this, but regulate it and separate the players?
Mm-hmm.
Or is the American players playing with the Europeans going to entice them to want to buy loot crates that they can't buy, and that may be against the regulation? Right. So, I mean, it's a lot of ifs.
Mm-hmm. A lot of ifs indeed, and hopefully one of the bigger, powers in the gaming world. I mean, the UK is a pretty big segment of the gaming industry. I mean, a lot of people look towards the UK gaming sales numbers to get a feeling of what it's going to be in the US, because that's how big of an impact that the UK market has on the general market. So if the UK does this, I think that's a big domino to fall in this thing. But, if the US were to do it, or if Japan were to do it, or, even other companies in Europe like Germany were to do it, like, that's another big domino that if that falls, it's kind of like, okay, we might have to really visit this seriously if the US starts to think about it. But which I think they should. I think they should think about it. Do I think it's going to be eliminated? Probably not, but time will tell.
Yeah.
Lots of ifs, like you say, clowns.
I mean, the biggest concern I have for Europe, UK, is that FIFA is big over there, right? So FIFA, Forza, games like that. So any of those in-game crates, or I wouldn't even say microtransactions in Forza, but like in-game currency to buy those loot crates. I mean, how's all that going to be regulated? Because those games are huge there. I mean, FIFA, forget about it. I mean, you get huge.
Yep. Absolutely. And, with FIFA, a lot of the microtransaction purchases, just like with Madden, are really limited to like increasing your ultimate team. I mean, you don't use Like if you were to play an exhibition game, it's not like the microtransactions are really affecting that per se. Like if you go into Ultimate Team, it's almost like you're kind of expecting microtransactions to have been purchased, and someone may have the upper hand on you. And so I'm not really dismissing it, but at least in that situation, like at least FIFA and Madden, like you can play a competitive game mode and not have to deal with that shit. Whereas like with Overwatch and like Call of Duty, which we're about to get to in a second, the goal, a lot of people think the goal is to Overwatch is a lot of cosmetic stuff, but, the goal is almost to like force the microtransactions on you on all the multiplayer modes, So, Taylor or Assassin on this stuff?
Well, if they get rid of these loot boxes in the UK, I bet the in-game storage is going to be littered with a bunch of crap, that would have been in these loot crates, and then it's going to end up being a pay-to-win system, especially with Call of Duty. I mean, look at Infinite Warfare, so many guns.
Mm-hmm.
Take out the loot crates, they're going to be all in the store, $2, $5, $10, whatever. Pay-to-win right there.
Well, see, and as crazy as it is, and obviously from your tone, I can tell that you think that that's worse than loot crates. But,
oh yeah,
in my opinion, I think it's worse too, because that is like absolutely, hands down, concretely pay to win. Whereas loot crates, like, it's almost as if people are more outraged about loot crates because it's gambling. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. And like Middle-Aged Gamer said in the YouTube chat, like, hell no, I'm not going to pay for something that I don't know what's in it, right? But there are a lot of people, like we talked about in the last episode, there's a lot of people that get their jollies out of that gamble, like, oh, I'm going to buy this loot crate, and here I go, I'm opening it, and what is that? Oh, here pops out, like, a purple coin, and here's a blue coin. Oh, what could that be, People love that action. I think it's almost as if, and tell me if you guys think I'm wrong, but it's almost as if, like, people are more outraged about the gambling aspect than the pay-to-win thing. Like, a lot of people say, oh, pay to win, pay to win, pay to win. But, like, when you look at this government statement, when you look at, like, the ESRB statement, it's all about gambling. It's not even about pay to win. Like, no one says anything about, like, oh, this is a bad thing because somebody could spend $100 and have a huge upper hand and make everyone else's game playing a bad experience. It's like, oh, if they spend $100, then they're going to gamble. So, it's I don't know, man. What you just said, Assassin, I'm totally against that. Like, putting all the guns in the marketplace, you're going to have, like, hundreds of items there for you to purchase, and then, being able to just, like, put down your real money to unlock this shit. I don't like that. Just like in Battlefield, what was it, like Battlefield 4 introduced, or Battlefield 3, where you could, like, pay for the shortcut unlock kits? Remember that? Where you could, like, unlock everything for the engineer or the assault class or whatever?
I think they started that in Bad Company 2.
Yeah. As far as Bad Company 2, right? But there was never pay to win, guys. Like loot crates and stuff.
Yeah.
Microtransactions never happen, right? But, yeah, stuff like that. Like, I hate that. I'd much rather there be loot boxes, because chances are you're gonna have to be a fool and spend, like, $100 on this to get, really good stuff, But.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor, your feelings on this? I know you weren't here last week, so.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it's kind of stupid, because, I mean, like, in Smite, they have the chests, but that even, it's just skins that you get. It's not anything that impacts the game in any way. But, I mean, we get rid of the loot crates, yeah, we're going to have 1,000 freaking things in the store that's just littered with a bunch of crap that would be better off, I think, in the loot boxes. Mm-hmm. And I saw, who was it? Oh, Drop Dead Artemis pointed out something. I think the gambling argument is from the point of view of someone who dropped more money than they should have and didn't get what they were hoping for.
Oh, yeah.
Which I completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's all a bunch of sour grapes. Like, people are just so pissed off that they spent ridiculous money and didn't get what they thought they were going to get. And granted, like, that sucks. I'm sorry. Like, that really does suck. Especially, like, in Battlefront, where, like, you have these loot boxes and you're unlocking things for classes you don't play. Or, like, any game like that, you unlock for stuff you're never going to play, and you're like, I just got this legendary item that only, like, 3% of people own, but it's for, like, Symmetra in Overwatch. Like, I don't give a shit about Symmetra. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand that point of view, but at the same time, like, you're not outraged about the gaming. You're not outraged about gambling. You're outraged that you didn't get
what you
wanted.
want.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's people are just trying to be mad over stupid things, in my opinion.
It's something to complain about. I bet you then after these loot crates complain part's over, they're going to go right to something else. That's what gamers fucking do, apparently.
oh, here we go.
Oh, they're going to go straight back to the pay to win.
Yep.
Oh my god, yeah.
Cool.
And then that's going to be over, and then be like, these rocks are too rockish. And then they're just going to complain about it for everything. It's just like, just go away.
Yeah, Drop Dead RMS just followed up to what you just pointed out, Taylor. He says, if you get pissy about not getting what you wanted from a loot box and feel your money's being wasted, maybe your disposable income isn't disposable enough for microtransactions. Yeah, it's like, if I go to the store and I buy, like a scratch-off ticket, that's obviously gambling. Like, I spent $5. I'm looking to, get the 3, treasure chests and win the $1 million or whatever it is. And I don't get that. Like, if that $5 was absolutely necessary for me to, like, eat, I probably shouldn't be spending that money on a scratch off, But, like, if I just got a $5 bill hanging out, I want to take a shot, like, I take a shot on it. So, like, moral of the story is, like, don't go buying 50 loot boxes in Overwatch like we have up on the screen. It's like $59.95. That's fucking ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. These things are ridiculous money. I can't believe so many people complaining about this as if they're getting hosed when there's so much money. Like, look how much money that is. It's just
a lot. But at least a lot of these loot crate systems, I know Call of Duty hasn't done it, but Battlefield, Overwatch, Battlefront 2 has done it, where if you get a crate, you get in-game currency to buy something that you want. So if you spend $1,000 on these, chances are, you'll probably buy a few things with the in-game currency.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Lloyd Kaibatsu from the Iron Lords podcast, awesome podcast, by the way, go check that out. He says, I feel like I'm the only person sometimes being happy with what I get from an in-game loot box. Yeah, I would say the percentage is like 90-10. If even that high, even if 10 may be a little high for people that are really happy with what they get. Like, I've never heard somebody spend like $15 on Madden credits and be like, I just got the most kick-ass lineup on my Ultimate Team. I always hear like, oh, another bronze, another silver. But that's what gambling is, guys. Like, the percentages of getting the lower stuff is so much higher, obviously. Like, they get you by saying, oh, guaranteed one rare or whatever. Like, that means you're only getting one rare. So in that rare, if there's like 21 characters we can have a rare, then your chances of getting what you really want is like 1 out of 21, not 1 out of 1. You know what I mean? It's like you got to look at it every angle. But anyway, yeah, that's the UK news. We'll keep monitoring that because that's going to be further talked about in Parliament, and I feel like we've already beat microtransactions to death last week and this week. So, but one last thing on microtransactions, and Clown's alluded to it, so I'm going to let him get the first word on this. Activision apparently was given a patent recently about matchmaking algorithm where it pairs weaker players against people with a lot of microtransaction purchases. So there is an algorithm placed where you'll have the weaker players placed up against people that have a lot of stuff that you unlock solely in microtransactions, and then that's gonna, because the people that are weak see that they're microtransactions and that they're awesome, they'll be like, oh, well, that person has this, and let me see if I can get it too. So, is this a Clowns, first, I want to let you say what you got to say about this, because you're the one who introduced it. So, what do you have to say about this?
I think it's a sneaky corporate greedy move. It's smart from a company perspective because it's going to make them money. But I think, from a gaming perspective as a gamer, I think it's kind of sneaky. And I don't think it's fair for all gamers. Like gamers like me and you and Assassin and people watching the video probably know better than to just go spend money in hopes that they get the same stuff as the better players. But when there's kids that play, and they're going to see other kids with like a weapon skin and go, oh, I want that alligator weapon skin. Well, it's like 1 out of 5,000 drops. Oh man, I want it so bad, and then they're gonna want to spend money on it. I think that's kind of wrong because it's making the kids want it. It's like a fishing hook kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's awesome in Call of Duty, especially because, and by awesome I mean ingenious. I don't think it's a good thing. Like I think it's disgusting, honestly. But I think it is a very smart thing. Like Lord Kabatsu said in the YouTube chat, it's ingenious and disgusting at the same time. Because in Call of Duty, you have kill cams. So if someone kills you from across the map with like that leopard spotted, like ACR or whatever, like you're never gonna see that unless you get the kill cam and you're like, holy shit, that guy's got leopard spotting. Like that's cool. Or like someone kills you and their reticle is like, the shocker or some shit. You know what I mean? Like you'll never see that unless they kill you and show you on the kill cam, and then you see it and you're like, wow, that shit's cool. Like I'm gonna go buy that. So it really, really is a good move for business wise for Activision. It's really smart, really fits into not only like, the culture of Call of Duty, but like the exposure you get from other players is just so much higher on Call of Duty than any other FPS. It's crazy. So I know what's going on, but I know you want to get on this. It's one of your favorite games of all time. So.
Well, sure. I mean, thank God it's not in their games yet. I know, like, the people who are making World War II came out and said that they've never even heard of this, therefore it's not in COD World War II, which could be a PR bullshit. But if it's in there, oh my God, Activision is another greedy sumbitch, They want that money.
So, Assassin, real quick, sorry to cut it real off, but does this mean we should cancel the Call of Duty pre-order?
No.
I know Joe did, and I know Inferno's probably like thinking about not wanting to play it.
You know what?
Inferno doesn't even have the pre-order.
No, I do actually. I do have it pre-ordered. Thank you for reminding me because I pre-ordered it. Remember when the PlayStation beta came out the week before the Xbox One beta, like a month or so ago, a couple months ago? What was that? What was that, like a month ago? When was that?
Pretty much. 2 months ago, a month ago.
2 months ago, something like that. And the PlayStation beta was the weekend before the Xbox beta. I did pre-order it on a PlayStation, so thanks for reminding me. Gonna have to cancel that shit.
Yeah, definitely cancel it. All the cool players on the Xbox.
Oh, yeah? All right. Okay. Taylor, thoughts about this?
It's disgusting. God, it's so bad. Because there's going to be a ton of little kids on the other end of that algorithm. And
Mom, look how cool this is.
Come
in here.
Or they just won't even say, hey, Mom. They'll just go and do it.
Yeah,
because kids are terrible.
Yep. It'll be like, these kids, like we've said before on the podcast, these kids are smarter than ever these days. And even though the parental enforcement is like better than ever these days, these kids know how to get around that shit. Like my nephews have learned my oldest brother's passcode thing on the controller, and like you can put in up to like 8 buttons or some shit, and he turns around and the kid, he's like, don't look, and then he presses the things, and these kids have figured it out. My nephew, he's 12, and this summer he comes up to me and he's like, Uncle Mike, you want to see something cool? And he like puts into his father's code, and I'm like, what makes you think I'm not going to tell your father you just did that? And he's like, oh, whoops. And so, these kids really, know how to do this. And if they want to buy this kind of shit, they're going to get to it. Just like they used to do with like Candy Crush and Farmville and all that shit in the iPad. But microtransactions never existed before this year, guys. Never a thing.
No.
Graphic God wants to know, this is kind of off topic, but interesting question. For us buying an Xbox One X, will you be only playing multiplats on Xbox One X from now on? Let me answer that and say my multiplats are essentially only on Xbox right now as it is. So, Taylor, I know you're not getting an Xbox One X right from the get-go. Assassin and Clowns, are you planning on? I mean, you guys do anyway, right?
Well, the only console I own is Xbox. So,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I buy
when you,
all the
even
multi-plats on the Xbox.
even when you had a PlayStation, well, you have a PC.
That could barely run like Minecraft. Like, let's be honest.
Nice. No, that's true. That's true.
No, but I mean, if you think about it though, Xbox One X when it comes out with Phil's the way he wants gaming to go, there's really no exclusive completely locked down on the X. Think about it. I mean, everything's pretty much multiplayer except for Forza, Halo, and Gears, and we don't know when the next Halo is really going to come out. It's speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Forza, of course. I mean, I'll play that, but Cuphead maybe. But there's no other exclusives I'll really play. Like, I'm not going to go back and play any of the Halos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, look at 2017 with exclusives on Xbox as it is. So, I mean, right now you are making that decision with the Xbox as it is. It's not even like the X is gonna. It's not like the X would do anything to change your mind anyway. It's like, you know, you're already making that decision as it is. So,
I mean, I've been begging Phil for Fable 4 for like, 4 years now.
I think it's coming eventually. Hopefully, they show that at E3 or sooner. Some sort of like teaser or something. Oh, quick thing about this Activision thing before we move off this. Do you think this kind of like sets the precedent for the rest of the games? Like coming out anytime soon, like FPS stuff, any games in general?
I mean, it's possible, but the moment if it gets released like Activision did, someone would be in a great heap of trouble.
There's a slight problem with this though. Any company that mimics what they patent, they're gonna have to pay Activision a license fee, because Activision owns the rights to that format. So they're gonna have to either come up with their own format, slightly different. But if it's even like I think 80% similar or 70% similar, they still have to pay a fee.
Is it that close? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really close.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, close.
I think companies might want to be looking at their current code and making sure they didn't trip over the patent by accident.
Right. I mean, as far as I know, this patent was just awarded anyway, or awarded pretty recently, right? What?
I think it was filed in 2015. I believe it was 2015.
Oh, okay.
And I think somebody found it recently when they were digging through stuff. So I don't know if it just got approved or if it's been a while.
Gotcha. Sasson or Taylor on this? You guys think this is gonna potentially set the precedent? I mean, obviously you can't copy it because it's a patent, but in some way, shape, or form, you think it's gonna set the standard?
It might,
Yeah.
which I'm not excited about.
Yeah, and I think, man, I hate to say it, but like if Activision shows an increase in microtransaction purchase, I think there are other companies that are gonna definitely think about this. I mean, it's sad because like right now I don't view like Call of Duty as being a huge game where like people I game with really buy microtransactions, but I know it's huge in general for microtransactions. So, like, will people I game with or know like be affected by this? Will they be like, I don't want to say like weak-minded enough, but I will go ahead and say that weak-minded enough to fall for something like this? Like that's the thing. Like I think people who already want to buy microtransactions are kind of already doing it. So it's gonna this is gonna be a way to like convince those ragers that weren't gonna buy them to buy them now. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't set the precedent. I really do. Assassin, did you get in on this? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right. All right, so that's the Activision thing. Hit us up if you want to give us your impressions on that, and they're, as Assassin said, not including that in the next Call of Duty, quote unquote. All right, another huge topic this week, and I know Assassin's wicked pissed about this, so I'm gonna definitely let him take the floor first on this topic. Is EA closed Visceral games? So Visceral, made the Dead Space franchise. Incredible games. I actually played the first one for the first time this year, actually. So I had never played Dead Space before this year, and I've gotten through the first one on PC because it's part of Origin Access. So I can't wait to play the second and third one. And unfortunately, we're probably not going to see any more of those games, which sucks. But the big news about Visceral closing is not even Dead Space. It's more of the Star Wars game that was announced was supposed to come out like late 2019.
Yeah.
And now is definitely not coming late 2019 if it comes at all. I mean, they say that EA in their statement said that they are passing the assets on to EA Vancouver to finish the game or to make something of the game. They weren't really clear about that. So that kind of sucks that, the original vision is probably going to be destroyed, and it's, the single player masterpiece that was supposed to be this game is now probably going to be severely affected. And, people are, after this news, people are saying, oh, single player is dying. This is really like the domino to fall. People have been saying this for a while, but now people are actually thinking it may be true because of stuff like this. So a big company like EA closing a huge team like Visceral, that's a big deal. So Assassin, please tell us your thoughts.
So from what I've seen, Alan's blaming EA for this bullshit. You're completely wrong. I think it should be partially put on EA, and most of it, I think, should be put on us gamers. For EA themselves, I mean, from what I think, it's hard to make a Star Wars game. You got all, years upon years of canon type things. You have to make it right to make a canon story. You can't fuck up one thing or they're going to get hated on.
Mm-hmm.
So probably a lot of pressure on these devs. They couldn't make the game as much as they probably wanted to,
right?
Which then, if they, had to cancel it and restart, that's a bunch of money, and it was just probably easier for them to close down, like Microsoft did to Lionhead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for the gamers, if you read the statement from EA saying, I have it even up right here, they listened to feedback and how games are being played today. All of them are mostly open world. The linear type games like Dishonored, Wolfensteins, the Evil Thins aren't selling as much as Ghost Recon Wildlands, Assassin's Creeds, any other games. So they're seeing this as they're not going to get much money. So everyone's going to bitch and complain that EA sucks, but it's really on you for not supporting these type of games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Preach on that. I 100% agree. I think, people are crying the cry, fighting the fight for single player games. Well, you're not buying them. I mean, people are not buying these. I mean, just because you bought Uncharted 4 and you bought Horizon Zero Dawn, it doesn't mean that those games are ultra successful. Like, those are two of the most successful single player games, and those did not sell near what people expected them to sell. I mean, Uncharted 4, for all intents and purposes, was a friggin' masterpiece, and that game didn't sell as many copies as like Ghost Recon, which was trash, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
So, and Uncharted is not multi-platform, and another one, Lucas saying, like The Witcher 3, like, look at that game. That game, friggin' masterpiece, didn't sell. I mean, sold a decent amount of copies, but I mean, look, you can get the Ultimate Edition or whatever they call it nowadays. That was on Deals with Gold for like $20. I mean, yeah, it's an old game, but still, it doesn't hold its legs. You have to drop these games in price in order to get people like us to buy them, and we're still talking about like Grand Theft Auto 5, 4 or 5 years old game, selling for like $60 on the regular still. So I mean, that's the difference. That's why these games are dying. It's not because like EA is some sort of monster. Like, it's a business, which sucks. But
well, I sent you guys a tweet earlier, I think like yesterday or something. But somebody close to the situation from the Visceral studio claims it actually had nothing to do with the fact that it was single player, that it was a cover up for something else.
That's a cover up, they're saying?
Yep.
That statement, you mean? Like saying that. Wow, I wouldn't be surprised, but like if it's a cover up, it's a damn good cover up because it's believable. Go ahead, Clowns. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, it had more or less to do with I guess he was alluding to the cost of making the game and how long it's taken.
Mm-hmm.
And EA doesn't like that.
Well, yeah, like Assassin just said, like, you know, Star Wars games are difficult to make. Somebody in the chat up before said, oh, Fastback 247, as I drop my keyboard. Fastback 247 says single player okay, but Star Wars single player gaming dying. And the reason for that is not even because they suck. It's because what Assassin said, like, to be authentic to the canon of Star Wars, you have to spend a lot of money. Like, look what games back in the day did to, like, replicate, or even the movies. Like, look at the movies back in the 70s, what they had to do to, like, replicate, you know, the scenes that they wanted to create. Look what the prequels, look what, like, The Force Unleashed, Rogue One, like, all the effort they have to do to, like, and those are new things. Like, they could write that from scratch and, like, just build on whatever they want. And look what they had to do to, like, make sure those experiences were true to the Star Wars universe. And if they weren't, it would have been torn to shreds, just like in the game.
Look at Star Wars Battlefront 2. They posted some on Twitter. They had to take inspiration from like 8 books to make this, you know, the game, because it, you know, all these books are canon. They can't just be like, you know, Luke Skywalker chopped off a person's head here, you know, at this point in, you know, this war, when this book over here said that, you know, he rescued a bunch of people. Like, you can't just make up bullshit.
Right. Because if anything, Star Wars, Star Trek, like, things with a lot of lore, these people are going to chop your head off and you're not going to get any support for it. So it's like, I think that's where the money was. Who knows? Maybe the money was toward making it just like an exceptional game with, you know, the best assets and the best experience ever. But, like, part of me thinks that the reason that it cost as much money as it was costing, if that's the truth, clowns, like what you said in that tweet, like, that just cost so much money. Maybe they just didn't want to pour that kind of money into making a Star Wars game that had to be ultra authentic, you know?
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, Assassin's correct. I mean, you do something, like, out of line, it's going to cause more backlash than anything.
Absolutely.
Something like this. And Disney is very picky about their IPs, too.
No.
Absolutely. Taylor, any thoughts? Visceral Games, RIP?
I'm upset because I really do love single-player games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a long time, that's pretty much all I played was single-player games.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Visceral to shut down, it's just like, oh, okay, that sucks.
Yeah. And, you know, for all intents and purposes, the games Visceral put out were very good. It's like almost as if, like, I won't say Naughty Dog, but, like, back in the day, like, Visceral was considered, you know, up in the top echelon, not necessarily Naughty Dog worthy, but, like, you know, close. And now you see a studio like that close. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's not like a small little studio. I mean, that's a big studio.
Mm-hmm.
Sass, what were you gonna say about it? Sorry.
Well, you also have Amy Hennig or whatever, the person who, you know, worked on the Uncharted series and some other series like Jack and Daxter, I believe.
Yep.
And that won, you know, a lot of awards working on this game, and now it's gone.
Now it's gone, and I put that in this slide. Good mention of that, because I was going to forget to mention that. What will become of Amy Hennig, one of the pioneers of, like Assassin just said, Naughty Dog pioneer, brought on to you know, make a game like this to be, you know, an experience akin to you know, Uncharted. So you felt that kind of feel, that it had that kind of narrative experience, and now, you know, all EA can say in their statement is like, we're not sure what's going to happen with her, right? Isn't that kind of like what they said?
Well, yeah, but I mean, if she wants to be on a Star Wars game, I think they'll put her with, you know, a good team. You know, not just some, you know, Mass Effect Andromeda team. You know, like the team that will get results, unlike Visceral.
Oh shit! Wow,
Jeez.
Fighting words.
Well, you know what I mean, like, you know, good, you know, developers. You know, not ones that, you know, might be good but not, you know, done big games. Yeah.
I hear you. And hopefully, you know, the talent doesn't get wasted there, because you know, who knows what EA Vancouver's going to do with this thing. Like, that cat hasn't been allowed out of the bag. I mean, I bet you that's already been determined.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think they make this kind of decision to close somebody like Visceral Games without like a backup contingency plan. If they do, then that's really foolish. But I bet you they already know the direction they're gonna go. And does Amy Hennig fit in that area? Maybe not. So, and that's the thing. Like that's what you hear on podcasts. That's what you hear from the Twitter community. That's what you hear from the gaming community in general. The Xbox community, especially. You hear, oh, why can't Xbox or why can't Microsoft get creative minds to make games like that, make games like Uncharted, make games like Horizon Zero Dawn, make strong narrative experiences to call their own. And now here's EA essentially throwing away one. Like it's worthless because it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. So, I mean, why would somebody like, I mean, EA is a huge company, obviously, from riches to rags and back to riches, right? EA was considered one of the worst companies in gaming, like not too long ago. And now, back almost on top of the gaming sphere in terms of, profitability and quality of games. And now they're just throwing away one of the best creative minds that's out there. It's unbelievable. So. All right, let's get off this. We'll talk more about the Visceral thing because I'm sure that the EA Star Wars game is going to get some. I'm sure somebody's going to let the cat out of the bag of what's going to happen with that. So when that does happen, we'll of course revisit it. And for all those people out there that are single player gamers, quote unquote, I do feel bad for you, Taylor. I know you are legitimately, a single player gamer. I know you. When we talk about your favorite games, Dishonored series, I mean, you play Smite, but I mean, that's
Smite's like the only.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Smite, I probably played the most, but the majority of games I own are single player games.
Right. So I know, like, somebody like you would be devastated, but these people that are devastated that weren't supporting him in the first place, like, it's kind of on you. It's kind of which sucks.
It's the thing I said earlier. They're complaining just to complain about something.
Exactly. But I'm a legitimate complainer because I actually only pretty much play single player games.
There you go.
I'm terrible at multiplayer.
There you go. Like you would have like if Ubisoft was all of a sudden like, oh, Assassin's Creed Origins didn't sell well enough. We're canceling Assassin's Creed forever. Sorry. Like
I'd be like, oh, I'm screwed.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen, but like,
guess I'll go back and 100% sync everything.
There you go. At least in those games, there's so much to do that you're ready to keep gaming for like months.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next topic. Not an Xbox topic. Kind of a Sony topic. Kind of. So apparently Sony is going to be a publisher for multi-platform games, and the first one is going to be on PS4, PC, and Switch on November 21st. It's called Tiny Wars. It's the spiritual successor to Advance Wars. I don't know if anyone's ever played that here, but it's kind of like a strategy game, kind of like a real-time strategy game, but not really because it's turn-based. It's kind of like the new Mario and Rabbids game that just came out for the Switch. That's really like a real-time turn-based strategy game, and that's kind of like what this is. It's a little. It's as far as I can tell because it was a Japanese press release, so I couldn't really read it too well without the translation. But apparently, this game is going to be like Advanced Wars on steroids. There's going to be a lot more complexity to it, and they call it a quote-unquote full-scale strategy simulation game. So there's a lot going on, but essentially it's like Advanced Wars, and it's like Mario versus Mario Rabbids that just came out on the Switch. So if you're into those kind of games, you're probably going to love this. If you're into like tower defense games like Defense Wars, or if you're into like RTSs in general, like Halo Wars, most recently on Xbox, like Command & Conquer, old Warcraft, stuff like that. If you're into that kind of stuff, you probably will like this, so definitely check it out. So yeah, what do you guys think? Sony dabbing into the multi-platform publishing scene.
Good for them. More people get to play games.
Yeah.
That's really it. And then they make more money because they're on PC, a bunch of gamers on PC and coming up on the Switch. So.
But guys, this is Sony.
Sony
bringing multi-platform games. Is hell frozen over?
Probably.
No, just more people get to play games, and that's what's good.
Wow, Assassin, did you go out and pick daisies this afternoon?
No, I wish everyone could play, every game. I wish Xbox people could play PlayStation games, and same thing around. There's some good games on everything that not everyone can play.
Oh, it's true. It looks like this is only going to be for indie stuff, though. I mean, and again, it was translated from Japanese, so I don't really know. But apparently their motto is kind of we want to bring smaller scale projects to people who probably wouldn't see them. Kind of like what EA is doing with their indie publishing platform that Zoink Games is going to have Fee published by EA, I guess. So kind of like that. And they call it this company they're starting for multi-platform publishing, Sony. It's called Unties. Or I think it's called Unties. The logo looks like something's being untied. So, anyway, back to the panel, people. What do you guys, Taylor or Clowns? What do you guys think about this? No,
there you go.
No one.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I just think Sony wants another avenue of revenue, and they know that this is going to work. And, Sony has connections to Japanese developers more so than American companies do. And there's a lot of JRPGs out there that are popular, and Sony could use their connections and leverage it and get some of them on the Switch and make money double.
What's crazy is that, and Fastback just made me laugh a little bit in the YouTube chat. He says, almost looks like undies. It almost does look like undies. I'll give you that. But the interesting thing, Clowns, is that you're right about what you're saying about their connections, but it's they're gonna bring them to the Switch. You know what I mean? Does that mean their handheld market is now finished? Does Sony not want to dabble in the handheld market anymore? Because it looks like everything they're gonna publish in this multi-platform venture that they have here is gonna come out on the Switch. It looks like from what I've read. So, what does that mean, Clowns? Is the Vita over? Is the Vita experiment over?
I think Atlas and NIS, and I think I can't remember the other one, but I think they're still going to throw a couple games to the Vita here and there. I don't think that's going to change at all. I do think that what Sony's probably going to do is use their leverage with companies like Atlas and NIS Incorporated and get some of those guys over to develop for the Switch. But if they're PS4 exclusives, they'll maybe wait a year and a half, change some iteration of it, ask them to change a little bit of iteration, and throw it on the Switch. Mm-hmm. They'll double their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thought that Sony may compete with the Switch a little bit because Sony always has this reputation of getting into the handheld market when they probably shouldn't, and I just expected them to come out with a Vita 2, if you will. But now when I see this, I'm kind of just why bother?
If they did come out with a Vita 2, it wouldn't be anytime soon.
True.
So by the time that the Vita 2 came out, it would potentially be more powerful than the Switch.
True.
We're probably looking after PS5 if they even think about it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So this may not even be, this venture may not even be necessarily relevant or even a competitor to what they want to do because it's going to be 2 or 3 years down the road anyway. So yeah,
yep.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And Sony's smart at business.
Yeah, that's gaming division. They certainly are recently, big time. Assassin, last word on this. I know you already said something. But about bringing stuff to the Switch, and it looks like the Switch is going to be the big winner in this whole thing.
Well, yeah. Look at, I think the NPD, they sold 2 million Switches just in the U.S. So, if half of those, or even 10% of those people, that's money that they probably would never have made. So.
But it's interesting, guys. The Xbox is left out of this mix. Look, you know, this game's coming out on PS4, PC, and Switch. You know, interestingly, you know, Microsoft's platform, and Microsoft has said, okay, with the Minecraft thing, with the everyone together or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but you know what it is. Minecraft, you can play multi-plat.
Yep.
And
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like obviously Microsoft is saying we want you to join us in this play together scheme, but Sony is like, no, Microsoft, we're not doing any favors or anything. So isn't that interesting?
I mean, no, I kind of expect it.
You know.
But
I mean, it's you know, it's kind of like a good old boy helping out a good old boy in a sense. I mean, a Japanese company helping out a Japanese company. So getting games on their platform, they know that unit's selling in America like hotcakes, just like the PS4, and they're getting stuff on it. I mean, they're gonna not give it to Xbox because Xbox is their biggest competitor.
Yep.
Yeah, but think about the talks that they would have in the break room. Be like, we just put a game on the competitor's console. We're making money off of them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I mean, do you guys really believe that a game like a JRPG like Persona would sell on the Xbox?
No, probably not.
But I mean, it would sell on the Switch.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
It's still money to be made, even if a few thousand people want Persona 5. That's still money.
Right. That's true. It's like Sony just wants to stick it to Microsoft, and like Taylor said, I don't really blame them, but at the same time, like, especially with indie publishing, like, it's not even your game, really. Like, this Tiny Metal thing is not made by Sony. They're just publishing it. So it's just like, okay, it's not even your game. You might as well get some money from the Xbox crowd. Why are you holding yourself back? But anyway, that's the Sony multi-platform news that everyone's talking about. Somebody said in one of their articles, one of the big sites I can't remember, said, has hell frozen over that Sony's going multi-plat, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. But shit.
If it was like Uncharted or something, then maybe. But
right.
I mean, this is an indie.
Exactly.
Getting some love.
Exactly. And it's not even like, if you didn't know this Unties thing was a Sony company, who knows if it's gonna say a Sony company? It probably would just say Unties in the boot screen or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. In other PlayStation news, just really quick, I don't know if you guys caught these in the news wire, but I know Assassin, you definitely did. A couple new Battlefront 2 bundles on the PlayStation 4. One's kind of an interesting one. One's kind of a meh one. So we'll start with the meh one first. It's just a jet black 1 terabyte PlayStation Slim console with Battlefront 2, and that sells for $299 this holiday season. And the other one, Assassin, that I know you've got your eye on, is a PS4 Pro with a 1 terabyte hard drive, obviously, and with the it comes with the deluxe edition of the game, right? The deluxe edition.
I believe so.
I think it does. I'm gonna look that up really quick while you talk about it. And that's $449, and it has. Everyone just thinks that these are stickers on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but if you read into the description of the console, it's a shiny finish on the top. It's not a matte finish on the console. It's like a mirror finish, and these aren't just decals. These are etched into the console. So, Assassin, in oh so many words, should I just summarize by saying you jelly boy?
I'm a little bit, because as a huge Star Wars fan, even though it is kind of lazy, kind of custom console, I would love to, just have it, because I gotta have everything Star Wars to add to my collection. But like I said, it's very lazy, and they need to hire someone that actually gives a damn.
Listen, what do you mean it's lazy? I see other people in the chat saying it's lazy too. The irrelevant native in the chat says the special edition is so bland. Listen, it's not matte black, it's mirror. Okay, it says a special PS4 Pro is the first of its kind in North America, by the way. Has a mirror finish, and it's decorated with emblems that are etched in. It's not just like stickers. It's not like somebody printed these on their HP LaserJet and slapped them on there. These are like etched into the thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of lazy because it'd be like, we need to make a Star Wars console. How can we make a quick buck? Oh yeah, let's just put some, emblems or whatever on there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's sell it for like $1,000 or whatever the price is, and there you go. Or they could have done something cooler and had like some like Death Star design on there or something a lot cooler that people have more imagination than probably I do. That custom sounds. I mean, Microsoft's been doing that with some of their consoles. Have like the Death Star, shooting its laser or something, or BB-8 when you eject the disc.
All right, you guys have a point. All right, I was just playing devil's advocate. You guys are right. I mean, this isn't like the R2D2 or the C3PO console on the Xbox 360s. Like the Xbox 360s and the Xbox Ones, when they do special edition, like changing the boot sounds, decorating the console as much as they do really nice special edition consoles. But I mean that's Sony. I gotta say that Call of Duty World War II like camouflage one, that thing's hideous.
My god!
This thing's actually, I think this thing's actually stylish, to be honest. I really do. Even though it may be lazy for the, like you just said, Assassin, the opportunities they could have had to do a special edition Star Wars console. It is kind of lazy, but I think it's cute. Hashtag cute. Taylor or clowns on these special editions? Oh, it does have the deluxe edition, by the way, the PS4 Pro one. The other one does not. The PS4 Pro one, $450, it does. So,
you know what? What's the point of these special edition consoles? They look ugly, and they're just throwing them out there. I don't see a point to them, to be honest with you.
Look at that DualShock, man. Now the DualShock is lazy, guys. Like, did you see the DualShock controller? It
doesn't it just have the Imperial and Rebel symbols on the handle? Like, is that it? I didn't see the rest of it.
That's
my god.
Yep, that's it.
That is so lazy.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that is legitimately lazy. I think the other thing being etched out, having the gloss top, I like to look at that. But the controller, yeah, lazy as shit. Lazy. Taylor, last word on this. What do you think of these consoles?
I mean, it's not the greatest. It's also not the worst.
Thank you. Yeah. It's not like Call of Duty World War II. That one is hideous, man.
My God.
If you
There's
people
some
haven't
really
seen
ugly ones.
If you people haven't seen the Call of Duty World War II Special Edition PlayStation console, don't eat beforehand and then go check it out because it's disgusting. It's probably the ugliest Special Edition console I've ever seen. It's absolutely hideous. Irrelevant Native says, if the boot noise was a Saber powering up, I'd buy it. Hands down, I'd buy it. Turn it on just for that. See, that's what we're talking about with the opportunities. That's where Microsoft does it well. Even with their Forza Special Edition consoles, like, I'm pretty sure, wasn't that blue console a Forza 6 Special Edition console that Microsoft did for the Xbox One? And when you turn it on, it, like, rev the engine. You turn it off, it rev down. Like, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
That sells. Supersonic Station wants to know if it comes with microtransactions, and I know that was a joke, but you know what? It actually does. It actually does.
Yeah, the deluxe does come with microtransactions.
Yep, it comes with a deluxe edition of the console of the game, rather. So that comes with, what is it? Let me see. It comes with premium digital content, including upgraded versions of all 4 trooper classes and instant access to Elite Hero and Starfighter Epic Star cards. So get yourself some Star cards, bro. Get yourself some Star cards.
Oh, so I could be OP and I could kill Assassin faster? Oh, yes.
Well,
absolutely.
We all know the ones that are in loot crates are a lot weaker than the ones you actually earn in game, which people don't seem to comprehend.
Yeah, people still don't get that. Yeah, people don't get it. People don't get it, man. Until the game comes out, they're not going to get it. Like, they're just not going to get it.
You know, I wish I could just go up to people, have that, printed out the words that EA said, and just slam it in their face. And be like, words. Read them, please.
Assassin, you should
Stop
make a
being
video.
stupid.
Do you have like a whiteboard? You should make a video like in front of a whiteboard. Be like, this is what it gives you, like, and explain it all out and just plain text or pictures. You should do pictures for some of these people.
Like a coloring book, pay extra to color in the lines with the fancy thing. I don't know.
Nice.
Maybe they'll understand it then.
Probably not.
Anyway, yeah, if you're a huge fan of Battlefront and you don't have those consoles, you want to get it on PlayStation, I highly recommend you get the Pro one. Obviously, it's more customized, and the Pro version of the game looks incredible, by the way. I mean, when the beta came out, I had to try it, obviously, on my PC, my Xbox, and my PlayStation. I played it a lot on Xbox because that's where my friends are, obviously. But on PlayStation, I did play it on the Pro, and the game looks incredible. And if I gotta be honest, if the Xbox One X version looks like that or better, if it looks better than that, I would be very impressed. Not because I don't think it will, because obviously the Xbox One X has higher graphical power, but I mean, it looked so good on the Pro that I was genuinely surprised on how good it looked when I played the beta. So, I mean, I told Assassin right away. Remember, I played it on the Pro and I came on Xbox and I was like, dude, if this looks as good as this, I'm going to, like, shit a brick, like, right in my pants, because it looks really, really good. All right, we got a couple more topics, just quick hitting things. Real quick for all you Ark Survival Evolved fans. Apparently, they've announced that Ark is going to be getting 2 Xbox One X upgrades. Not sure about PlayStation upgrades. Is Ark Survival Evolved like the full game even out on PlayStation? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's not just like that ganky version that they had. What was the other one called? Oh man, what was the other Ark version called? I can't remember. Anyway, so Ark Survival Evolved on Xbox One X, you can either have a 1080p 60 FPS mode, and that mode has the current Xbox One graphics. So if you're totally fine with the Xbox One graphics as they are right now on the game, and you just want 60 FPS and 1080p sharpness, then you can enable that mode. But if not, you can enable a 1440p 30 FPS mode that has detailed graphics, which is either high or ultra on PC. So it's gonna be very, very graphically detailed. So some people don't care about that. Some people just want the stability of having 60 FPS, and this argument's been had for a long time. So I'm not going to get into it now. But if you want really, really sharp graphics and you don't care about 30 FPS, then you're going to want the other mode. It's nice that you can have either or, because I know that there was talk about Ark only doing like 4K 30 and that was it. Like that was going to be the upgrade. But I guess they couldn't do 4K 30. They just did 1440p, which I thought was kind of weird. But I mean, you'll see a difference on a 4K TV. If you even have 1440p, you'll see a big difference. I mean, heck, I'm pretty sure the Battlefront beta was 1440p, and that game looked incredible, as I just said. Anyway, Assassin or anyone? I know, Assassin, didn't you, weren't you the one that kind of brought this to my attention? I feel like you were.
No, I don't think
Okay, forget
so.
it. You suck then. Forget you. Taylor or Clowns, any thoughts on this?
I don't play Ark, so.
It's been a while since I played it.
Oh, no one cares about this Ark thing, huh?
No.
Wow, you guys
Nope.
Sorry.
All right, moving on. For all you Ark people, it's a cool thing. Shout out to Beard on Twitter and on Xbox, obviously. He's a big Ark person. I know there are people that like live and die by Ark Survival Evolved, but we're not those people. So we will move on. That was kind of like a public service announcement topic, but who cares? Speaking of Xbox One X upgrades, kind of something that is, I think, a way bigger deal, not only because I play the game, or used to, but because I'm really shocked by the fact that this is happening. Apparently 343 Industries is going to do some Xbox One enhancements, Xbox One X enhancements on the Master Chief Collection, which came out like 3 years ago. Is apparently going to get graphical enhancements. I don't know if it's going to get 4K HDR. I just put that to be cute on the slide, but it could be 4K HDR. Who knows? I don't think they have those assets, so I'm guessing it's not going to be. But there's definitely going to be visual enhancements, and Bonnie Ross was on a live stream and said that it's going to go beyond graphical enhancements, but they're not saying what quite yet. They kind of alluded to the fact that matchmaking experiences on Xbox One X have evolved over the years, so maybe on the Xbox One rather have evolved, so it may be that. But what are you guys expecting on this? I mean, this is a 3-year-old game that has thought to be, for all intents and purposes, dead. But what do you guys think is going to come about from this?
Hopefully, good things. I mean, hopefully Halo 2 anniversary. Hopefully, I get the 4K boost, if anything. I heard some people hopefully they add reach to the mix. That would be interesting. But I mean, the game's dead. I mean, why?
Well, some people, I think, are very interested in this because they think that the reason it died was not because the game sucks, but because the matchmaking was just so goddamn awful and still is pretty bad.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going to get the same audience, that wanted to play it 3 years ago.
No, I agree.
And in 6 months, you'll get the people that are interested, but you're not going to get the people who stayed up all day and night to play Halo 2, MP.
Right. No, I agree with that. I agree. I mean, you're only going to get the diehards, and the diehards do exist. I mean, there were people on, remember the OG Xbox Halo 2 servers until the very last minute, and there were people like sobbing over Xbox Live about the shutdown of Halo 2 online servers on the Xbox OG. And Irrelevant Native kind of agrees with the Assassins. He says servers are gone, matchmaking died real fast. But remember, guys, we talked about a couple podcasts ago, I think, that they're coming out with a bundle that has Halo 5 and the Master Chief Collection, so maybe you're going to get an influx of some new players. Isn't MCC in the in Game Pass? I think it is.
Yeah, but you could probably buy MCC for like $1 nowadays.
No way. Really?
On a sale probably. I don't know what the normal price is.
Let me see what they're selling for at GameStop. All right, while I look that up, Taylor or Clowns, what do you guys think of this news? What's going to come about from this thing?
I mean, it's kind of interesting that now all of a sudden they're doing a complete graphical upgrade and some other stuff that they won't say. Like,
that they will keep secret until a later time. I mean, what do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. Like, I don't get it. Why now all of a sudden?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, because I mean, Reedy obviously plays it still from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple of his friends, because they're diehard Halo fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just go through and they'll just play all the campaigns from start to finish.
I can't wait to do that again.
They'll just randomly do that. But, so,
yeah.
I mean, there are still some diehards, but I don't think there's enough to really quantify needing this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what, and that's the thing. Like, I heard this news, I'm like, what is warranting the fact that 343 Industries is going to take the time to do something like this? You know what I mean? It's not like Forza 7 where, like, they say they put it to the Xbox engine in, like, a day, right? The Xbox One X engine in a day. It's not like something like that. I mean, for Halo 1, the Halo anniversary, probably even, like, Halo 2, definitely, like, Halo 1 and 3, like, it's going to take a long time to up. Even though Halo 1 has that anniversary edition, Halo 2 has that anniversary edition. Like, if you're going to get a 4K version with new assets and stuff, that's going to take a lot of effort. And what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
What's the point?
Halo 3 anniversary confirmed.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Maybe we'll finally get that.
It would be nice.
By the way, for inquiring minds, Halo, the Master Chief Collection, digital download at GameStop, is $30, and pre-owned disc is $34.99. So
Yes.
I'm gonna look on Best Buy while Clowns gives his thoughts. Clowns, what do you think about this, bud?
I just think the whole thing of going back and up in resolution on games, and my mic cut out, so if that's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
I think it's pointless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a niche thing. There are fans of Halo that are going to appreciate it, but for a majority of casual users and other gamers who are going to go on to different games, they're not going to care. It's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources, and it's sad that Microsoft would lot resources to crap like that when they can be getting Fable 4 out there or more exclusives, something better. No, guys, we got to work on 4K up-res and textures. Yeah, we got the Xbox One X coming out. Let's do it, guys.
Yeah, guys, let's put Halo 6 to the side for a little bit. I need you guys to get right away on redoing Halo Master Chief Collection. We have about 1,000 active players daily that we need to satisfy right now. Thank you. And we have about 2,500 people that are going to buy that Halo bundle that we need to convince to then sell their Xbox One X and buy a One S and buy a One X. Let's get on that, please. I mean, come on. Anyway, Best Buy. $29.99 for Halo Master Chief Collection. So
Jeez.
still $30. But yeah, I mean, too long don't read version of this is that who the fuck cares? Like it's a cool thing and I'm interested and I will check it out when it happens. But I mean, me and Assassin we'll probably co-op some of these stories again, and then that's going to be it. We're not going to play the multiplayer. Like, we're not going to be like, oh, wow, this matchmaking is so much quicker than the 10 minutes it took to find a match last time. Like, no one cares. No one cares. So people want Halo 6. Like, people want a new Halo game. They want like a Halo offshoot game that like excites them, not ODST, but like, or Reach, but like something really exciting that's new and fresh. They don't want, rehashing of, I mean, this is going to be what, like the fourth time that Halo 1 has been rehashed? Because you get been released, because you get Halo 1, you get Halo 1 the Anniversary Edition on 360. Then you got Master Chief Collection, and now you're going to have Master Chief Collection, like, ultra-res to upscale the 4K with better matchmaking. Like, come on. Like, don't beat a dead horse, right? All right, last topic, and I know this is one that Taylor is going to be a little irate about, and Clowns is thinking about converting over to that macro life. So Hori, which is a third-party peripheral manufacturer, they have already made something like this over on the PlayStation 4 that gives you keyboard and mouse pseudo support over on PlayStation, but apparently it has been revealed that the Xbox is going to get one, and it's coming out pretty soon, guys. It's coming out in like less than 2 weeks. October 30th apparently is the release date for the what do they call it? The TAC, I think. The TAC keyboard and mouse. So it's not like a real keyboard. It's like one of those gaming like 16 key or 20 key keyboards with like macro keys and WASD and all that stuff. But Clowns, I know, it's $150, but Clowns, I know you're all about that macro life. So is this something you're interested in?
Well, if I can get my own macro Razer keyboard that can store like 300 macros in there and hook it up, I'm going to use it.
So essentially, if this is just one of many that you can use, like if full keyboard and mouse support's coming, and this is just like, one version of it, and you can actually use like real keyboards, you don't care about this.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't care about using this. I just think, they designed it because guys like Ybarra and Phil like using the PC, and, it's comfortable, it looks easy to use, and no, but I want my own macro keyboard, gonna program stuff in there, macro myself achievements and games like Smite and everything, and then just upload it to the internet and put it on a site, and Daz can spread it around for me, right, Daz?
There you go. People in the YouTube chat are asking how much is it? $150 is the listed price for this thing, so it better be fucking good. I mean, that mouse looks pretty basic for something that would be, a gaming mouse. Like, you see these gaming mice from, like, Logitech and Razer and stuff, and those are, like, souped up with, like, ultra precision and a million buttons for all your macros and all this shit. And this one looks like this thing came out in like Windows 98 days. Like, is this even like a laser mouse? This thing looks like it's a fucking like optical mouse with like that like bright red light underneath.
Yeah, my mouse has 8 buttons.
Right, exactly. This thing looks like it has like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, like, I think they're trying to make it symmetrical so it can be used by a lefty and a righty, but like it looks basic as shit. Let me see. While one of you guys give Assassin or Taylor, you give your thoughts. Let me look this thing up and see what kind of mouse that is.
Well, I think that it's stupid because I think it's stupid because I think it'll be unfair because going back and forth and playing games on PC versus playing them on console, you have so much better control using a mouse than you do with a controller.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
And I understand this is the this is them trying to get people on the console, and this is trying to get PC games on the console that are gonna require this kind of input. Like PUBG, like a lot of people are complaining that PUBG is a game that requires keyboard and mouse essentially for the proper input and to be competitive. And so they want to get this kind of thing going for that stuff. Like even like RTS games, like Halo Wars feels unnatural to me with a controller, but if I'm using a keyboard and mouse, I actually like Halo Wars 2 a lot. So I'll play it on my PC. I will not play it on my console at all. Like I don't think I've even booted it up 3 times to play it on console. And so I think that's the crowd they're going for. But then again, like you said, I mean, if they don't just like, restrict matchmaking a bit, I think a lot of people are going to complain about this. And if you look at the reviews on the PlayStation 4 version, right, of this unit, which is the same price, $149.99. On Amazon, it's only 3.2 stars out of 5. So this thing isn't even that great, and it's $150. So let me see what kind of mouse it is. All right, Assassin, you got any thoughts on this?
The thing's stupid, and that's really all I have to say.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's really all I have to say. It's just plain stupid.
Oh, here we go. When you look at the product, there's a sensitivity adjustment button on the top. Okay. There's a sensitivity adjustment button. Listen to this bullshit. Ready? Here we go. They advertise that it has a snipe button. I can't even joke around. This should be like weird gaming news of the week. We need to bring that back, and this should have been one of those ones. Snipe button.
On the fly.
A quick
weird news of the week.
Yeah, right? Put the banner up quick. A quick button, an ADS lock button, and more. There's all these buttons, apparently. So, let me see. I can't tell what kind of technology it is. I don't see it say, like, laser or anything. It does say laser accuracy, but, I mean, I don't know what the fuck that's all about. Mouse sensitivity button. You can have multiple profiles. You can plug this thing into your PC and change all the profiles and stuff and macros and all that shit. Oh, here we go. Oh, my God. I wish I could bring this up on the podcast. If you guys go to the Amazon, not right now, like people on the podcast, but for future reference, if you go and you look at the Amazon listing for this thing, they have a diagram that's like snipe button and quick button, what those mean. Hold the snipe button, Assassino, you'll love this. This is right up Assassin's alley. Hold the snipe button to temporarily reduce mouse sensitivity for increased accuracy.
Hey, it's right up my alley, like you said. There you go.
Right? Assassin's always bitching about that. Those FPS games that don't have different sensitivities for looking down the sight, right?
Yeah, oh my God.
What else? The quick button, guys. Okay, the quick button is the exact opposite. You hold down the quick button, and it makes your sensitivity like double, so that you can get like a quick like 360 no scope or some shit. Wow, is that a lot of bullshit, huh? Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have to plug this thing in? Yeah, you do. You have to plug both of them in. They're not wireless at all. Okay. $150. I probably would never buy this for $150. If I saw this for like $50, I may try it, but $150, absolutely not. That mouse is the ugliest gaming mouse I've ever seen. That thing looks like it belongs back in like the Half-Life 1 days of gaming. All right. Other than that, I think that's essentially it. Oh, one more thing about this Hori thing. It is officially Xbox licensed, so if you're pissed about it, Microsoft did license this, so they're on board with keyboard and mouse, everybody. They're on board. I think somebody in the chat earlier did say that they saw somewhere that keyboard and mouse support's going to be in the next update.
Yeah.
So, did they, I know this is kind of off topic, but kind of not. Do you guys know if, on Insider, in preview, if they, did USB camera support yet, or?
Yeah.
They did? Yeah. Ooh. May have to try that. I think one of my consoles is still enrolled in preview program, but I haven't booted up that one in a while, so. Dropped it up. Huh?
Missing out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Especially those weeks where if you're in party chat, you can't play games.
Amazing. Assassin, how much better do you feel now that you're not doing that bullshit?
I'm back in.
Oh, you went back to...
After the Battlefront 2 beta ended, I was immediately, signed up for it.
Gotcha. One quick comment before we get out of here. Drop Dead Artemis in the YouTube chat says 360 no scopes. Come on, guys, 2017. Where's the 1080p no scopes, the 4K no scopes? Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, we gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here because I gotta go back to work. But it's been a lovely week. A lot of good topics tonight. Good job, crew. If you want to see some more of our content, we've got some more reviews and articles up on our website, 4GwQPodcast.com. Please go check it out. If you like it, let us know. If you hate it, let us know. We need to know, if we suck or not, essentially. So please let us know. You can message us all individually on Twitter. Our names have been cycling below our heads for our Twitter handles individually, or you can go to 4GwQPodcast. That's our podcast Twitter. If you want to find us on anywhere else, YouTube, Mixer, Facebook, Twitch, all that stuff, search 4 Guys with Quarters. You'll find us. Other than that, we're out of here. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Clowns, have you played your SNES Classic yet or no?
It's still in the box.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I haven't opened it yet.
Excellent.
You want to send it to me?
I like looking at the box.
Nice. I'll see if...
I'll just send the content.
Oh, yeah, I get to see the contents? Is that what you just said?
Just send it. Send the content.
So
keep the box.
Yeah, Assassin's a smart ass.
Keep the box.
Right?
Just give me the actual thing.
Send half the content. Like the cords, but not the system.
No.
The controller. So.
Wow. That's torture to somebody.
Or just send the console, but not the cords.
Or just send one controller and say, you could have almost had this whole thing.
Wow,
yeah.
Brutal.
Or send the box with a picture.
That's like sending Assassin a box for Assassin's Creed Origins with no disc in it.
Oh my god, I want to do that so bad. All right, well, I gotta run, so we're gonna end this thing. Peace out.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.